Hello and welcome to Southtech tutorials. Today I'm back with another video where I'll be taking you guys through Subscript and Superscript in MS Word. So before we create a folder and create a file, let me first give a brief explanation of what these two mean and why they are normally used. For the case of a subscript, you have seen this kind of text that is always appearing on top of other text. When, for example, we have ever dealt with some math equations where you write x squared, the 2 you see on top of x is what we term as superscript. Then when you have dealt with bases, for example, you have written maybe x base 2 will appear below x. That means that is what we term as subscript. So I'll give you more explanation when we start our Word tutorial on subscript and superscript. So let's create a folder on the desktop. It should always be your first priority when you're dealing with MS Word. Let's name this Subscript and Superscript. I'm just giving a short form of sub. Click on enter, and then it's always a good practice for you to organize your folders on the desktop. So let's open our MS Word by clicking on Start button on your keyboard and type Word. Just click on enter to open it. So just click on blank document, and our topic today is subscript and superscript. That is the title of today's series. So remember we have already created a folder on the desktop. It's really a good practice for you to first save whatever you are doing before we continue. So just click on File, then you click on Save As, Browse. For your destination, you have to browse. We are looking for desktop because it is where you just click on this PC. If you scroll up, you will see desktop. Then you click on the folder where you want to keep your file. Double click on it. Yes, double click. By the time you double click, it will show it up here. That means here now you're safe. You have really navigated your folder, and it is a good practice. So you can give a better name to this, or you can leave it. Actually, this one is really okay with me because it will identify our file. So we have now created our folder and we have created our file. It's gonna be named as subscript and superscript. And now click on your button of save. So at least we have done one important step in MS Word. It is really important. I always do that because sometimes the power may go off and you lose the changes you have been working on. But if you do save constantly, you won't really lag behind. So let me give you a definition of subscript. Or before I give you a definition of subscript, I must tell you that most of you, even me myself, I have used these two. Maybe we just didn't know that we have been using subscript and superscript. For the case of subscript, it's that text that sometimes you do see below the normal line of text. For example, if you have seen O2, which is a scientific name for oxygen, 2 is normally slightly below O. That means 2 is our subscript. I hope that is a very good example. And then we have everything x squared. The 2 you see slightly on top of x is what we term as superscript. From there now you can easily generate a definition from those two examples that I've just given you. That means subscript by definition is a character. A character, when I talk about a character, for those ones who might not get it well, I'm talking about maybe just a letter. When you just see letter R or letter D, these are characters. Even when you see something like given 2 characters, is really wide to explain, but I hope you get it. So it's a character, can even be a number or a symbol. Or a symbol that is set slightly. It is just slightly, it is really not on the very top, but it is slightly on top, or it is slightly at the bottom. For the subscript it is below or bottom. So this one is slightly below, just from the word sub, something is below, slightly below the normal line of our text. I have given you an example of O2. I was saying O2. Right now, this one is just, we haven't yet applied subscript on this, but by the time you see these two below, oh, there we have applied it. So now let's apply, and you really know, you really understand the meaning of subscript. Just highlight only what you want to make as a subscript. So highlight that, and then you come to this. When you hover, it just tells you subscript, and this, that's the shortcut control plus equal sign. You can just click on this. You can now see. Just increase the font size. You can increase the font size from here, or you can just use these numbers. It's all the same. So you can now see this one. O2. We have applied subscript. Subscript. I hope this is really a very good example for you to understand how a subscript is used. You can now see the 2 is appearing below, and this is what we are saying, that it can either be a character or a number. You see, it is a number, so it is really fitting in our definition. It is a number or a symbol. That is, we haven't yet used symbol or a character. Character, as I told you, they are normally as single letters. You just see letter A, letter B, those are characters. So I was saying that a subscript is a character, number, or a symbol that is set slightly below. You see, 2 is slightly below O, and that makes it a subscript. And this is the normal line of the text. It's this. Can you see this? And 2 is slightly below O, and that makes it subscript. So the definition of of a superscript. Let me give you a simple, by the time you understand the definition of a subscript, you just need to come and change from below to above. In simple terms, the definition of a subscript is the opposite of the definition of the definition of a superscript is the opposite of the definition of subscript. That means I can just get this. For others, don't really copy and paste, because I already know what I'm doing. For you, you're learning. So this is where I'm just changing slightly below to slightly above, and that makes the definition of a superscript, because you can also use a character, you can use a number or a symbol for the case of superscript. I can give you an example of x2. By the time you make it x squared, right now it is not x squared, it's just x2. By the time you make it x squared, that means you have applied superscript. So now let's make it x squared. You just need to highlight 2 and then come on, click on this. It is now, you can now see. Then we go away from that highlighting. Here we have applied superscript. I'm putting these dots to just tell you that we are applying, we are putting superscript into application. Let me just increase the font size for this. I love using this one. So you can now see x squared is a superscript. We have applied this one now. This one is the superscript, this one is a subscript. I hope you have understood. And where they are normally applied, as I told you earlier, when you're dealing with some equations, for example, you're dealing with some scientific equations, writing oxygen in scientific manner, which comes up with this, then writing x squared to come up with. So by the time you write x squared, you have really dealt with superscript. I hope it works for you, and I think this is the last part for our today's tutorial on subscript and superscript. If it has been helpful for you, then please subscribe to my channel and hit the notifications bell for more updates.